Hi guys, it's Andy from mcfcfantv and welcome to another Friday night social. And as usual, we've got some guests on, so we may as well bring them on. First up, the usual. How you doing, mate?
I'm all right, Andy. I'm all right. I'm keeping up there, mate. It's the missus' birthday today, so yeah.
Champagne went down well.
Yeah, it goes straight to my head, that stuff.
So what is it? What are you on tonight? You did say you might
on the beer. Yeah, unless I wouldn't make the end of it if I went on the JD, I don't think, mate.
We got Kurt on. How are you doing, mate? You all right?
I'm not too bad. Real bad night with my sleep this week, but other than that, not been too bad. How about yourself?
Yeah, good, thank you. Yeah, very good, apart from getting my dog in out of the bloody rain. Lashing it down out there. And over in probably sunny Melbourne, we've got Sir Alan. How you doing, mate?
G'day, boys. And it's not sunny Melbourne today. I'm down in Hobart in Tasmania visiting my family.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I'm down here today, and my dad's not been great, so I've come down for the weekend.
How's Tassie?
It's all right. The weather's been good yesterday. Forecast is 21 degrees and sunny. So I'm taking my dad out to watch some cricket this afternoon.
What was he talking about there? I'm sure. Did he say 21 degrees? No, that can't be right. No, bring him on. You say you're taking your dad to watch the cricket? Yeah,
I'm watching. He watches the district side over here, Sandy Bay in Hobart. And they're playing Clarence, which is at the over on the other side of the bay. So it'll be nice today. So I'll take him over there, cheer him up.
We'll have a great day with your dad, mate.
Yeah, we'll do.
Gary Holden. I will put Liam Delap in the first team squad or on the bench. The experience with the first team would be brilliant. We see that with Phil Foden. Say no more, reckons Gary. Charlie's on, evening all. It's Friday, so it only means one thing. The FS come on City. I'm going 2-0. We'll come to that later, Charlie, but welcome on as usual. Adam Quinn, how are you? Hope you're well, Sean. God, everyone's getting the score predictions in early. Ross is on. Bonjour Blues. Hashtag haircuts. Hashtag delicious. Hashtag Gabby one goal, hashtag Bellings, hashtag lasagna. Yeah, we've got a new now. John's on. Hello, fellow Blues. How are you? Charlie says, hola, Ross. Haircut's delicious. There you go. It's copying. It's trending already. Hey, Charlie. Says Ross. Hi there. Hashtag delicious. Says Mingy Wong. I mean, they're all at it. Sean Fogarty, we need to pick the right lineup for tomorrow. Game's not going to be easy. I'm sure it won't be. Farhan's hi. Sam Martin's on. He says, hi guys, how are you, Sam? Hope you're well. Sean says, Sean's giving his life, giving everything early here, mate. You have to wait. Wait. Sean says, how do? Let's get this party started. The weekend starts here. Dale Brennan says 3-1 to He's giving scores already as well. Horsey, so Martin's on. Hey, Ming, you want hope you're good. Ross says, freshly dyed Alan.
Don't dye my hair, trust me. He needs to, trust me. He's doing great, big time.
I tell you what, though, Alan, it's getting a bit thin, isn't it? It's getting a bit thin.
Just look at that.
Yeah. It's getting a bit thin at the back there.
Yeah, I know it's got very thin now.
Ross got some good footage on your Melbourne Derby day, mate.
Really good.
Did everyone like that?
It was really good, mate.
It was superb. It was absolutely brilliant. And thank you to you and Ross for doing that.
I did like the casuals, with the gear on and the pretend hooligans. Absolutely hilarious.
I'll tell you what, Alan. The fact of just seeing fans in a stadium for the first time in ages,
brilliant.
The atmosphere of everything, it was just great, mate. Thanks for doing it, and thanks for Ross.
It was actually good fun. Actually, it was really good fun. We tried to find United and Liverpool fans, which was nice to do. So that was quite funny.
I was so envious of you because I'm just going to bring it up here and I'll post a link because it just took me back and I posted on Twitter, didn't it?
Yeah, he did actually. It was good.
It just made me really miss going to the games and interviewing and chatting to fans. It was brilliant.
Yeah.
Again, I'll put the link in there, so if you want to go and watch it, if you haven't seen it, go over and watch it. It's brilliant. Leonard's on. Evening, everyone. Andy, good evening, Leonard. How are you? Ocean Rage is on. Martin, how are you, buddy? Lassale Blur, hi, Martin. Hashtag Shaw, hashtag hair dye. TMC evening, everyone. Hey, listen, Alan, it comes to the best of us, mate.
No.
My lads shaved mine off this evening.
Your beard's natural, isn't it? Your beard's natural, but then it goes dark black to blue.
Mine's all over the place here. I mean, it's a bit of black here. I mean, I used to have this black line, but it's going grey, and it's now going into nothing, mate. It happens to us. Somebody asked him about the pitch, which I think a lot of us have commented on lately. Said our grass is not good. And that was it. But he was asked a question later by Stu Brennan. Pet, obviously, manager of the month. Ilkay Gundogan has got player of the month as well. And he said on that, it's about the backroom staff as well. Don't forget those. It's not just about me. It's not just about the player. All the players, it's about everybody else involved and the backroom staff that have got us to where we are at the moment. He said he's got big admiration for managers who play football the right way, even when they're down the table. He still likes the way they.
Someone doing the hoovering or something?
I don't know.
It's not my sister.
I don't know
what that was. Sound like a what's it called? A Uber driver on a motorbike coming to deliver a takeaway.
I thought it was going to be something worse than that.
No, yeah, well, I didn't want to say that. But anyway, Alan, just press pause on your laptop a minute. Just press pause. Mute. It's Alan. There you go. It's something in your background. But anyway, there you go. We don't have to embarrass your sister now. Anyway, on to new managers. He said across Europe. There you go. It's going to be interesting. On to, finally, very quickly, your score predictions then. So we'll start with Kurt. Let me just get to the page so I can write your score predictions down like I always do. Kurt, what's your score prediction?
I'm going for a 2-0. Not easy, but a comfortable one.
Okay, 2-0 City. And don't forget, you can give us your scores in the comments as well. What's your score for tomorrow?
2-0's mine as well, Andy.
You're going 2-0. Okay. Alan?
I'm going. I've had a bet at Betfair. I've had 3-1 and 1-1 at half time.
Oh, Alan's even calling 1-1. Well, I'll write that one down. I was really stuck with this one. I didn't know whether to go for a 4-0 or to go for a 1-0. I was like one of those games after the other night. It's like, yeah. I'll stick with my first score. I'll stick with my first gut instinct. 4-0 City for me tomorrow. I think it's back to clean sheet days for me, but I do think it possibly might be a really difficult game. And maybe, even if Pep says it's one game at a time, maybe he's got a little bit of an eye on who might play just to ensure that we go through in the Champions League. Maybe, I guess we'll see. We'll move on to the final three questions, plus your question, which is yet to be chosen. And that is over to Alan about clean sheets. So, Alan, your question, mate.
What has happened to clean sheet City? In the last 4 games, we've conceded goals against West Ham, Wolves, Man United and Southampton. What has gone wrong in the last 4 games? Because the last 4 games we've played in the league, I don't think we've been as fluent as normal, and we certainly haven't been as solid as normal. What, in your opinions, has gone wrong with our back 4 and the way we defend as a team? We'll start with Chris.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. I don't think we have been as fluent. I don't think we've had the same rhythm that we had in January and February. It's sort of, I don't know what that's down to, whether we've had 4 home games and we've sort of thought we've done all that travelling, now we can rest on our laurels a bit. I hope it isn't that. But I do think that West Ham, Wolves, Southampton and United at times in the games had really good spells against us. And I think West Ham were very, very unlucky not to get a point there, a free header at the end. I think it's Diop at the back for them. They really should have scored that header right at the end of the game. I thought Southampton started out really well against us the other night, and how the score was 3-1 at half time, I was a little bit bemused by, even though they got the softest of penalties, but maybe we'll get onto that sort of stuff in a minute.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of rotation going on, Alan. I think, when Laporte was injured, we sort of stuck with that Stones and Diaz partnership, and there's no doubting that this season that's been our best centre-back pairing. It also coincides with Kevin De Bruyne coming back in the team. He's not up to pace, I don't think, at the minute, and he's given a hell of a lot of balls away as well, which we hadn't been doing, and playing with a very fit team who are all in good form. And Kevin's not hit that form yet, so I think there's a little bit of that as well. But then, I think I've counted, we've played 20 games so far in 2021. So, you're going to go through peaks and troughs. That's just the nature of football. The fatigue might have set in a little bit. In a long season, that's the way it goes. And, we're competing for every trophy. So, it's not like he's resting, the whole 11 for like cup games and stuff like that. So, yeah, for me, the answer is get Stones and Diaz playing at centre-back as much as possible. And Pepper said that he's going to rotate less, hasn't he? So we'll see. And to play the right wingers with the right fullbacks, depending on who we're playing.
I think you're right about that last comment. Against United, I disagree with Walker not playing, and I certainly disagree with Bernardo not even taking part in the game. I think they were two crucial players that I would have been first on the team sheet, especially against United's defenders, attackers, because they're so quick. And Cancelo had an absolute nightmare without Bernardo covering for him. I think everyone could see that during the game, and I think that was a big mistake by Pepe played. But you're right, Southampton game the other night, I was sat in the pub in the Imperial, and I must admit the first 35 minutes I thought Southampton were the better side by a long way. And when we went in 3-1, I was like, how the hell are we 3-1 in front? We should be behind. I thought Southampton were far better than us in the first half. Second half, we played back to what we can play like. But it's concerning because as a team, they're not defending anywhere near as good as they were 6 weeks ago. Nowhere near. Kurt, what do you think?
Well, I think there's 3 points to it. One is the first point, which is the most obvious one, is consistency is bred, but stability is bred by consistency. Consistency in the lineup, consistency in the people playing, consistency in the system that we play. We've seen that we've gone a long period of our winning streak was where we were playing primarily like 3 at the back, high wingers wide, and one of our fullbacks coming inside. What we've seen over the last 5 games since Kevin De Bruyne has come back in the team, we've gone back to our fullbacks being high and wide, and our wingers being more inside, which has caused us 2 problems. One, when we lose the ball in transition, we're in worse position defensively because we have less defenders in position already. And 2, when you have Kevin De Bruyne in the team, he's going to try and make killer passes more often than any other player in our team. And when you do that, you're going to have a higher percentage of passes that don't succeed. And obviously, when you don't succeed in a pass, there's turnover of possession, which leads to chances for the opposition team. So I think, like I said, the selection of the back 4, the chopping and changing constantly affects us. And Kevin De Bruyne being in the team affects the system that we play quite evidently. So I think they're the 2 main reasons. And I think the third one is, mate, the teams that we've played against have had good spells and scored with those opportunities that they had. And you just got to give credit. For example, like you said in the Southampton game, I think they were well in front in the first half, well in front. West Ham, I think we were lucky to pick up even a point. I think we would be lucky to pick up a point, mate. I think if we're being real, they deserved all 3 points, if I'm being completely honest with it. And United, we picked the wrong setup and system to play against them. We played 3 people on the right-hand side that don't have the defensive capabilities. We had Mahrez, KDB and Cancelo all on one side with no one to cover but Rodri. Which is
well, Ross thinks it's because there's no Kagul. Would take the opportunity to meet Chris again. What a smashing bloke! Oh, it's a smashing bloke here. He's a smashing fella. Yeah, we like you. We met Mingyi Wong outside in Novotel, didn't we? Down at Wembley. I think Pep will want 2 centre forwards in the summer as Kun and Jesus will go. God, Stephen, my God, come on, give us some more bad news.
He's a cheery fella.
He's a cheery bloke. Leonard Pep had to rotate because we're getting results now. Having a full squad, he will pick the best. Hashtag delicious update. Rossi's owed £2.40. £2.64. What's that all about?
No, he's what's he going to eat? Copyrighted them.
Oh, right, okay. Oh, okay. No, he hasn't.
He has.
No, he hasn't. Has it copyrighted that? He can't.
Yeah.
There's no way he's got copyright on those ones. Did Pep once say, "Give me 10 midfielders any day"? He did. He definitely did. I don't know. Andy Blue Moon says, "Hi guys, hope you're all safe and well. What do you think, guys, think about VAR poll for clubs to do? And do you think VAR should overrule refs more? Maybe it's something we might get into later, mate. Andy, nice haircut. Well, mate, it's not down to my lad. My lad did it tonight. It still needs a little bit of a trim at the back and sides, but he's done a decent job. Right, let's bring the guys back. Alan's back. So is Kurt, and so is Chris. Swapped around a little bit there, but anyway, thank you for coming back, everybody. We're on to the next question. This is from Chris about Phil Foden's penalty.
Yeah, so right, guys, I like to think that I'm a pretty rational person, but something's still bothering me about that Phil Foden penalty decision against Southampton. And I know we won the game 5-2. I feel like, for me anyway, that I've not been able to move on from it. So I want to ask you guys if you've been able to move on, or are you still asking questions about the integrity of the PGMOL? And we'll go to Kurt first.
Well, I'll start on the back end of that, the integrity of the PGMOL. There's not really much integrity there, is it? I think the only good thing in terms of what's come out of the incident is it's clearly got enough sort of stirred enough emotion in fans of all different clubs and just general annoyance at the rules and the implementations of them and VAR itself. So maybe at the end of the season, I know they had they're doing like a poll and stuff about talking to managers and all this. So hopefully some good comes of that. We need to get the rules sorted out and so VAR can actually be improved, I think. But in terms of the decision itself, it was absolutely disgusting. I didn't get to speak because I've been quite busy this week. It made me feel, like you said, it made me feel sick inside. It just made me too.
I think something has to change, if I'm honest with you, mate, because I think that there's enough of a groundswell of fans now who are absolutely sick.
It's not just fans, mate. It's pundits, everybody. Most people can't ignore the issue anymore. They have to talk about it. And the more things are talked about, the more pressure gets put on these organisations, the PGMOL, that they have to act. And they will at some point. It's just a case of when.
Alan?
I'll tell it. As far as the referees are concerned, when penalties are given, if we talk about that incident with Foden first, if the referee doesn't see it and he thinks that the keeper's taking it away from him, that's fine. But obviously now things are being checked by VAR. Now, I think the fault is at the VAR side. Because if the VAR can't see that the goalkeeper's taken Foden out with his right foot, he's blind. And that's what really annoyed me more than anything. I can understand a referee not seeing things. If someone's in his way or is in the wrong position to actually see what's actually happening in an incident, then there's no excuse for a VAR to get it wrong. I'm sorry, but there isn't. And when they came back and said it wasn't a penalty, I must admit, I got up out my chair in the Imperial and I ran to the TV screen screaming and shouting. I couldn't believe he hadn't given it. I was very vocal.
That's no surprise.
Yeah, no, and Steve Barsley was calling it corrupt. They're fixing the league and all this. Now, this is what it creates. But, it's all right saying, have a go at the referee. Referees will make mistakes because they've got a split second to make it. Okay? So they are going to make mistakes. But there's no excuse for a VAR to make a mistake when he has three looks at it from different angles. I'm sorry, but how can the VAR person, whoever was doing it, make those mistakes? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely. And not just that. Just let me finish. If the game was been 1 each with a minute to go, and that had happened, and we lost 2 points because of it, it would have been chaos. You know, the penalty that they got wasn't the penalty. He dived. You could clearly see he dived. But it's happening, like Pep said, the Fulham handball, the Arsenal game, it goes on right through the season.
I saw somebody put someone in the comments, I think it was Stephen again, I don't know if he was just on the wind-up saying that he didn't touch Phil Foden.
It was this Ross thing, you know, when Ross says Kevin De Bruyne is rubbish and should be sold. And
right, okay.
It's a bit.
So for me, this borders on sort of like an unconscious bias towards City because there are so many decisions that blatant things that we don't get, and soft penalties given against. I couldn't believe Laporte was pinged for that challenge on Vestergaard. I couldn't believe it. And then when I saw the replay of it, there's no doubting that that his hand touches him. But there is absolutely no reason for Vestergaard to have flung himself backwards like he did, just the same as Mo Salah does in every single game. You know what I mean? So, it concerns me. But that Phil Foden one, it just will not go for some reason.
Oh, same, Chris, mate. I'm bothered about it to this day, mate. I'm going to be moaning about it for probably years, to be honest.
Andy, what's your thoughts, mate?
I think I said it the other night in the post-match. A lot of my stuff. I mean, I don't know. I have tried to watch it and listen to all sorts, everything from Talk Sports opinion to pundits to reading newspaper articles today on it and all sorts of stuff. I don't know. I mean, I don't think John Moss is a very good referee. I think he's poor. I don't think he's fit enough to keep up with the game. And that's nothing to do with the game the other night. I just don't think he's fit enough as a referee to keep up with the speed of the game today. I do think referees have a tough job. I must admit. I will. The one thing I will say is the speed of the game, and you're watching from the position John Moss was in, behind play, and Foden is and the angle that the keeper's coming across. You could see why he probably didn't see the touch. So we'll stick up in that respect. However, so he might not have blown, and this is the problem in this day and age, is it's so difficult now with VAR, because if he's thinking, well, I've got VAR, so if I've made it a clear and obvious error, VAR will pull it up, because I'm not so sure, because I'm sure when you look at it from the slow-mos that I posted on Twitter and everything else, you know, and everyone's posted and things, Foden's foot comes out, and from the angle behind the goal, you go, Jesus Christ, it's a clear penalty all day long. Now, if you're behind the back of that in John Moss's position, looking at that, and Foden's foot, it's Foden's foot goes like that, and the way that Foden then, and this is the problem, tried to stay on his feet, John Moss is probably thinking he slipped. And he's trying to keep on his feet because it isn't a penalty. But I've got VAR to back it up. And if I've got it wrong, they will step in, because this is my problem. I can understand why referees get things wrong. Jesus Christ, I've refereed adult games, over 40s games, kids games, things like that. And if you've ever refereed games, you get things. I got things loads of times, and I thought I do a pretty good job at refereeing, but I got loads of things wrong, and so it is. And you're thinking that game moves at such pace. I can understand why referees get things wrong. I am empathetic to that. And from where John Moss was stood on this occasion, even though I think he's a poor referee, and I don't think he's fit for purpose for the Premier League, maybe Sunday League, but Premier League, I can see where he might have come from, thinking, I couldn't see the touch, and it looked like he slipped. And the fact that if Foden would have rolled over and shouted and screamed like Mo Salah does, like he's been shot dead, then he probably would have blew his whistle and then gone, VAR will overrule it if it wasn't a penalty. But the fact that Foden went to stay on his feet, he's probably thinking, I'll play up, because he might have slipped there. And the fact that he's trying to get on his feet. And VAR is the thing that's let the referee down, in my opinion, because they saw what we all saw immediately. They saw it. And for me, it's not John Moss, even though I don't like him. I don't think he's a very good referee. I think VAR massively let down not only John Moss, I think they let down City. I think they let down Phil Foden, for being honest. And I think they let down football and the Premier League. Kept out the limelight for a week. And then he'll be refereeing in 2 weeks' time, and he might do this game. And before you know it, the whole Foden thing will be forgotten about. It'll be in the past. And everyone will move on to the next dubious handball decision or something else. And I just think it's a very dangerous game when we have somebody making such an incompetent decision that
I'll tell you what, Andy.
PG, if the, you know what would appease everybody, and I'm sure most fans, even United and Liverpool fans, would look at that and go, Andy Madley, you're not fit for purpose, and you are removed from Premier League duties, full stop. And you can spend 2 years in the Championship and do whatever, and that is it, because that is, and you're lucky to keep your job.
Yeah, exactly. Why should they suffer him? You know,
maybe.
If you're right, if you can't do your job, right, then go and find a job you can do, because the guy is a terrible decision in my eyes.
I'll tell you what, boys. It's a good job. It wasn't the last minute of the game, and it was one.
Which is the one thing. Which is the one big thing in it.
On that though, Chris, what you're saying, when we had Simon on last week, I remember him saying, wasn't it him who say something about 50% of all refs by the age of 18 give up the game as refs? Yeah. I think that we're seeing a clear issue is we're having all these. We've got a lot of old refs in our league. In all honesty, a lot of guys that are getting on, and where's the replacements coming from? You talk about, like, say, for example, if you got rid of every ref for these gross misconducts and terrible things, we'd end up having nobody to ref our games. Yeah, I think that's getting to a bit of a problem point in this country.
But the younger refs coming through have got to shave an head and go and headbutt players.
Again.
But this is the point. You know, as a footballer, you should idolize a Messi or a Ronaldo. These great footballers. Yeah. If you're a referee, you should idolize Chiellini and go and see how he refereed games.
Of course, everyone will agree he's the greatest.
You know, so. I'm not saying you can be as good as Chiellini, but don't be this sort of, you know, I'm not going to say that was a penalty. Because there's another thing. When you actually see that blown up and do what they do in the cricket, whether the ball's gone into the hands or not, and they put that zoomer thing on, it is so clear that he did not touch the ball. And even if he did even got a toenail to it, he still took Foden out at the same time. You know? So I'm not saying you can be as good as Chiellini, but don't be this sort of, you know, I'm not going to say that was a penalty, because there's another thing. When you actually see that blown up and do what they do in the cricket, whether the ball's gone into the hands or not, and they put that zoomer thing on, it is so clear that he did not touch the ball. And even if he did even got a toenail to it, he still took Foden out at the same time. It was a penalty, and this sort of stuff should have been shown to John Moss. It can happen in cricket. It can certainly happen in football. Should be shown on the monitor.
Well, how many times? It's interesting. How many times do you hear tennis, rugby, cricket having this discussion on technology? When do you ever hear the big Ferrari from cricket going, I can't believe the umpire or the fourth umpire or whatever has said he's actually that ball didn't touch the ground.
That comes down to the rules of those games are more clear, right?
So I think
the rules.
But on a penalty, there was only one thing. Did he touch the ball first?
Oh, I completely agree on this
did he take him out?
Incident. Yeah, I completely agree on the isolated incident. I just mean in general, the rules in football are a lot less defined than in other sports. Like, for example, tennis. You know, they have their actions they can call. They get it right, they keep the call. They get it wrong, you lose one. You know what I mean? You can't. Those sort of things. For example, cricket's a lot slower pace of a game than football. So, you know, there's lots of things that are hard to implement in our game.
I'll tell you what, Andy, when you mentioned about when do you ever hear other sports arguing about decisions through video things, the Aussies all call us cheats after the World Cup final against New Zealand.
Wow.
Stoked ball. It's hilarious. I'm just going, umpire's decision, boys. They don't like it, and they're drawing 15 each on the last over, and we went in on technicality. All the Aussies call us cheats. It's hilarious. It's brilliant.
Kurt, we're moving on to Kurt's question. Then we've just got a quick poll and a subscriber's question to finish off for tonight. So, Kurt, your question is about Riyad Mahrez.
The man himself, the guy who's obviously, comes in for some criticism about parts of his game, his defensive abilities, aptitude, his application. But I think in the last five, Chris is a fair lad. He's a fair lad.
Yeah, calm down, Chris. Don't get fired up. Yeah.
And I think we've seen. I know I said before. I brought up stats to back me up that Mahrez, outside of Kevin De Bruyne, over the last 3 seasons, is by far our most creative player. If we don't have Kevin De Bruyne on the pitch, Mahrez is the one who's going to be creating the chances. And he averages 1.7 key passes a game, which is more than anybody else at City, barring Kevin De Bruyne, who's at a crazy 2.7 a game, which is just unbelievable. Key passes. Mahrez averages 2.1 shots a game, which we all know. Anyone who watches Mahrez know he wants to get inside and take his shot. I think a lot of the criticisms, I know people don't particularly think that Mahrez's best position is up high and wide, which I often would mostly agree with them. But I think the options in our midfield allow for a lot of obviously our positions rotate, right? So if Kevin De Bruyne is playing as the right centre midfielder, he can go on the right wing and Mahrez can operate in a more central space for a few minutes, or if he sees an opportunity to run into the inside, he knows that someone's going to cover the outside for him. I think, like we were talking earlier with, and Andy was mentioning with the switch of play, there is not a single person in our squad that's got a better first touch. Maybe Bernardo's close, but Mahrez is by far the best first touch in our team. And having that first touch creates space, because when you control the ball correctly the first time, you have more time to make your next decision. Yeah. And what that does is if we're drilling it down the left and we've got nothing on and we swap it over to Mahrez on the right, he's going to take that ball and create. And I just think he drives at players. I think it's 1.8 dribbles per game. We know often sometimes he does himself with his dribbles, but at the end of the day, in terms of forward going players, there's no one who puts in more stats than him other than Kevin De Bruyne in terms of thing. And I just want to talk about, we all like having the guys in there, like Bernardo, who run all day. But at the end of the day, winning football matches is about putting the ball in the back of the net. And outside of Kevin De Bruyne, Mahrez is our most prolific player. And I just wanted to talk about your thoughts on him being dropped and rotated and his role for the rest of the season in our squad. We can start this one off with you, Chris. Chris, if you got anything for us from that one?
No, nothing, mate.
I was watching Chris's face all the way through them comments then, and you could see he's going redder and redder and redder. But there we go.
Let me get this absolutely straight here. Mahrez has been really good in the last few weeks. I mean, seriously good.
6 weeks.
But the game against Southampton, I've never seen him play like that. I've never seen it. Was like, no, we ain't losing this. We're not throwing this away. He absolutely just had the bit between his teeth. And that's what you expect from somebody you've paid £60 million for. You want a game changer. You want a player who can influence a game like that. He just picked the ball up both occasions and just, slammed the ball home. I was just so impressed with him. I really, really was.
Unfortunately, I've only got a few clothes down here with me, so I can't swap shirts down here in Hobart.
Well, Ray firmly says Mahrez is growing on me, to be fair. We all have opinions, Chris, and we all love you. There you go. Okay. Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts about it, Alan? I don't know if we want to go with the rephrase question of who you'd rather have on the undroppable side of it. I don't know what your thoughts are.
At the moment, Riyad Mahrez's confidence is high, and you can see that the way he's playing, without any shadow of a doubt. So, while his confidence is high, you play him. All right, he is going to have a game where he slumps back down again. But the only thing I would say I would like, when, let's say, Mahrez is playing on the right, Sterling's playing on the left. When he gets rotated over there, Sterling plays there. I would like Pep to be able to swap them over during games more than he's doing. Okay, because there's times when they get the better of the fullbacks, get the better of the wingers. But hopefully, at the moment, Mahrez is playing really well. So you just got last 6 games. I think he's done really well. Southampton being the exception where he played outstanding. I would just like to see more rotation from the wings, because, like you say, when Bernardo or KDB play the inside, he can come inside and play then. That other person, KDB or Bernardo, could go on the right hand side and play there. But that's what happens in the City team.
But what about you, Andy? What are your thoughts on Mahrez, undroppable right wing, and here in the last 6 weeks?
Ross says Lucy's driving, so I can give Alan shit. There you go. Mahrez. Well, I mean, I think Chris is spot on. We've never been in a situation where I said Mahrez is shit player. Should
Yeah, of course.
I said all along, I don't think he has been performing consistently enough to be at City, and that was prior to Christmas. Even prior to Christmas, I still thought over the previous three years, he's been extremely inconsistent, and that's been his problem for me. You'll get one good game out of 5, and that good game is possibly a 7 out of 10. The very odd 8 or 9 out of 10 performance throughout the season, and I mean very odd, very, very odd 8 or 9 out of 10. But what we've seen again, just like we've seen of Gundogan, a very similar story with Gundogan. I think somebody brought it up. I don't know. It's Chris brought it up a few weeks ago on the FNS saying, "Well done a minute, Gundogan prior to January, but wasn't that great?" Yeah, he's just hit this vein of form, and I think Mahrez is doing that. And now we're seeing that consistency. I mean, he's got the most amazing technical ability. Don't get me wrong. I've always said he's amazingly technically brilliant and best first touch I've seen it in a City shirt. But it's interesting. And I'll try and back this up with a few facts, okay? I'll try and back this up. Long may it continue with Mahrez for me. And is he undroppable? No, because Pep rotates. That's the problem. Same as the defence. That's the problem. But if you were picking your best squad, I think right now he'd be in it every single day of the week because he is on fire at the moment. But I was just pulling up some stats. Riyad Mahrez so far this season. 36 games, all right? I'm going to write these down because you probably won't. 10 goals, 5 assists. I'll write down the next players' goals and assists. Next players' goals and assists. And I'll write down the next players' goals and assists. So I've got them, and then I don't have to be referring to them. So here we go. So that one is Riyad, that one is that one, and that one is that one, one is that one. Okay, here we go. 36 games, Riyad Mahrez, 10 goals, 5 assists. Raheem Sterling, 36 games, 13 goals, 10 assists. So double the assists Raheem Sterling's got of Mahrez, and 3 more goals. Phil Foden, 35 games. He's got 11 goals and 8 assists. So he's got 1 more goal and he's got 3 more assists than Riyad Mahrez. Bernardo Silva, 32 games, 5 goals and 5 assists. So out of those 4, if we include KDB as a regular starter, out of those 4, and we can probably bring in Ilkay Gundogan into that now because of his goal-scoring feat. So let me just very quickly bring up Gundogan's stats because he is one that at the moment seems to be a little bit undroppable because he's done so well. Ilkay Gundogan, here you go. Same amount of games as Bernardo Silva, who has got 5 goals and 5 assists, but has 14 goals and 3 assists. And it goes back to the question I said a couple of weeks ago on the FNS. Mahrez has been brilliant in a run of 2 or 3, 4 games. Not consistently brilliant, because his stats, his goals and assists don't add up to Raheem Sterling's.
He's not played the minutes, nowhere near the minutes Raheem Sterling.
Okay.
It's like 450 less, I believe.
He is, I'll bring Riyad Mahrez up, 2,468, and I'm not bringing up the games he's played in either. So he has played 400 minutes less than Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, round about that. Like I said,
and he's played 100 minutes more than Phil Foden.
Yeah, Phil Foden's numbers for his minutes is absolutely unbelievable. Anyone who looks at the base stats is crazy. He's
played more minutes than Ilkay Gundogan. He's played more minutes than Phil Foden.
Yeah,
he's 400 minutes less than Raheem Sterling.
Yeah, he's our second most played winner.
Yeah, so he has got. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think in the last few games, he's been sensational, absolutely sensational. But if he continues, my worry is, will he continue to do that, or is that a run of 3 or 4 games where he's been great, and then he'll drift out for the next important phase of a game in the next 3 or 4 games? I don't know, but I do think he'll be rotated. Is he undroppable? Not on form. He should be in this team every day of the week, but Pep will rotate him. He just will. Super chatting. Great show, guys. The Four Amigos on fire. Thank you very much. Much appreciated, buddy. Hope you're well.
He's a stingy git, isn't he? Stingy git. That doesn't even get me a box.
Tight git, Martin. You tight sod.
And then we also had the
get your money out, Martin. Get your money out.
Hold on 1 second. We've got John Grogan on a super sticker. Thank you so much, John. John, if you want a question, don't forget, if you do put a super chat or a super sticker, you can have a question and we will read it out. We promise you. Any super chats or questions, we will read them out. So, but thank you, John Groden, for that. And thanks, Martin, for that. Appreciate it. So, guys, I'm going to go to Kurt first. Which is your question?
A lot of nice questions there, but the one that stands out to me, just on the old heartstrings, is the Zabaleta one, and about what role he'd take. I don't know.
Hold on. I'm just asking you a question.
Okay, no worries.
And then we'll
no worries.
We'll choose which one. Alan, which one?
The Sergio one. Is it the end or not?
Sergio. Chris.
I actually did the Sergio one, but I think that might be, we might drift until 1 o'clock in the morning if we do that.
Yeah.
With Zabaleta,
yeah.
You're talking about my hero there, so
we're going Zaba.
Yeah.
Right, okay, Zaba is the winner. We'll hold this Sergio question for next week. So let me see who asked that question. It is Andy Blue Moon, and he's. I'll just copy this across so that you can everyone can see Andy Blue Moon's question. And this was his question that he posted below. And don't forget, guys, if you check out the community chat, there's tons of stuff going on every day, polls, questions, things like that. And this is from Andy Blue Moon. And he says, that's the one chosen for tonight. He says, hi, guys. Believe Zaba is in talks for a role at City, but what role would you guys think he should be doing? Oh, it's great news. It's true. Go to Chris first.
I'd have Zaba basically anywhere where he wants to be, but yeah, he should be the one who sits on the sidelines for me, and anybody who doesn't perform goes to see Zaba.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Kurt.
Well, I was going to make some really nice points, but Alan beat me to the pip. I was basically going to say, come in, fit him, and basically anywhere, get you. I don't know how he. I think he's coaching badges, but I don't know what level he's up to. So get him fully up to the level, and then basically replace Brian Kidd as the link between the fans and the backroom staff. Because at every club, you look at what Carlo Ancelotti did when he took over at Everton. The first thing he did was keep Dunk Ferguson right involved, right there. and it does two things, because whatever the next manager is, the manager coming in will have Zabaleta to help them integrate a lot easier. And these types of personalities in clubs are so important.
Yes, I mean, God, I remember that video on Man City TV.
The old ladies.
No, the one with the kid when he walked through the curtains, and I mean, Zaba's just like in tears and everything, talking about the fact he was leaving the club, and he's an absolute adopted man. He really is. He's an absolute legend for me of the club. He really is. Loves the club, loves the city, loves Didsbury, loves the Mancunian people. He's amazing, amazing. Guys, I will give a shout out. If you want to go over, look at Ian Cheeseman's Forever Blue podcast. He's interviewing Pablo Zabaleta, and I've not watched it yet. I only saw it before. And he is interviewing, so I will check that out tomorrow at some point. He's going to do it in several parts, I believe. But go over and check out Ian Cheeseman on Twitter. Like I said, it should be interesting listening to Zaba. Absolute legend. For me, I think that's a brilliant shout out, Alan. I think Kiddo has been absolutely amazing for Man City. Not only as a player, but what he's done in that coaching intermediary role. That, you know, you always need one person at a club that can,
the old guy.
Yeah, the person who can mix with the players, but also then be on the side of the manager and be that go-between. And Brian Kidd has done that absolutely perfectly at Man City. And long may it continue. You know, that's not to say Kiddo should be gone. But he's getting no younger. I think he's 72, is he 71, 72 or something like early 70s, whatever.
The responsibilities have been reducing over the last 3 years anyway.
Yeah, and obviously with COVID and everything else, there's obviously issues, things. So I think Zaba would be that perfect role to learn about coaching, get his licenses, learn a bit about the business like Vinny did and Vieira's done and everyone else, and God knows where he could go, because he's an absolute adopted monk, and you know, just like Vinny is. And I think it'd be sensational if we can get him on board at some point. But anyway, Andy Blumen says, thank you, guys. Leonard said, when Zaba plays, he gives 100%. Always did. Was it 17-18 season when we won the league that day? He did that speech in a white shirt. Alan, really, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means.
He's of his keyboard or something.
It's on the train, isn't it? Zaba Martin has a beautiful fridge in his background.
What?
Random.
Oh, Martin, I think you better check your bedroom or wherever you are. You might have a hidden there, mate. Great show. It's always great as usual. Thanks, Dupes. Ross, that's from Charlie. Okay, there you go. Great, Evan Dale says, yeah, thank you, Sean. Zaba is simply classic. He is, says, let love lead. And Michael says, Chris, you're dead right. Pablo's a top player. Love the guy. Thanks for a great stream, says CE1. Thank you very much. Right, that is run over by 25 minutes. City. I keep getting Charlie's videos coming through off Ross. Some of them are absolutely brilliant. BHE says, cracking as always, lads. Thank you very much. Julio says, Chris Baker. Dupe, I don't know where you're asking about Sterling. You're a bit late tonight, Dupes. What's wrong with you, mate? You're asking about Gundogan and Pep, one player in the management. We said that at the beginning of the video. You have to go back and watch it. What's going on with you? You're normally on first thing, but you haven't been tonight. Thanks, guys. Always great show, the FNS. Thank you, mate. Appreciate it. Chris Baker about to do a magic trick and disappear in his vape smoke. Thank you for a great show, guys. Always cheers us up. Thank you. You're welcome, Andy. See you, lads. Good stream. Thank you, Cafe Del Calcio. Bye, guys. Prediction for tomorrow. Alec Johnson, we've already done it. We did it in the preview at the beginning. Go back and watch it. My missus just said, she ain't a fridge, cheeky sod.
Fine, duck.
Oh, God, Martin. You didn't read that one out, did you? Oops, sorry, I was late. Don't worry about it. Dupes. Andy must be the Jamie Redknapp of Man City Fan TV now with that new model cut. Don't you call me Jamie Redknapp. Horsey City said, Julio, stop it, Chris. Is mine, always has been. Sean Fogarty, thank you very much for that, buddy. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Peace, boys, says Tyrone Douglas. Peace to you, brother. Another great show as usual, the best City channel on YouTube by a long way. Thank you so much, Stephen Dempster. Really, she really said that as well. You're on loud, wasn't me? Great show, says Leonard. Yeah, great show from Alan and whoever is taken over to meet his parents in Tasmania. But she's having a good time, whoever she is. But anyway, Alan, mute. We don't want to listen to your girlfriend. Next room. Bloody hell. Don't forget to look out for the Chris Facts on Twitter. Tell your friends about the channel. Yeah, thank you. Great stream, lads, as usual. Thank you. Oh no, says Charlie. Dolls have arrived. Thank you, everyone. Chris, cheers, buddy.
Yes, thanks, mate. It's been a great stream. Some real funny comments in there.
Yeah, brilliant.
In the comments now.
It's been absolutely brilliant.
Really good, really funny. Yeah, come and join us next week, lads, because and lasses, if there's any out there.
Oh yes,
next week's a bit of a big one. So yeah, thank you very much for joining us. Thanks for all the funny comments. I love doing this. It's so great, and thank you for the Zabra question.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give you a pre-warning for next week. I didn't even know it was Chris that reminded me. Next week, believe it or not, this just shows you. Next week will be the 1-year anniversary of the Friday Night Social. A year. Can you believe we've been doing the Friday Night Social for a year? It was a thing I thought up of just let's do something for COVID. Chris was involved and others, and it's like, what should we do? Should we do something? We'll call it Friday Night Social. Let's just get together. It's a year, and it seems to be probably the most popular show that we have. We might not get the views that watch-alongs and everything else gets, but it seems to be the show that everybody likes and looks forward to. So we originally decided to do it through COVID times when there was no football, and then that continued, and then we had a bit of a pause, and then it came back, and now it seems to be a regular thing every Friday night. It's the Friday Night Social. But thank you so much, everybody. Really do appreciate it. It'd be no good if it'd be just us four. We could just have a Zoom call and chat to ourselves. It's about you guys and all your comments. And I must admit, tonight has been very funny. Very, very funny. Some of the comments have been amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I want to say a massive thank you to the guys for coming on, giving up their time. It is 2.5 hours. It should have been 11:30 we finished, but as usual, me, I can't time manage, and I've run over by half an hour, so I do apologise to the guys, and apologise. Kurt was very insistent, 11:30 tonight, and I do apologise, Kurt. But thank you, everybody. And thank you to everyone, sorry, and all your comments. Happy match day, everyone. You too. Is Chris vaping? Thinking about Maras again. But take care. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell icon. Before you go now, just give it a thumbs up. Click it below. It takes you a millisecond to hit it and give it a thumbs up. And if you're late, like Dupes and all the others, you can watch it back. And what we will do is we'll probably put out a best bits maybe tomorrow night or Sunday. And you can watch it back, the best bits. But take care. Have a safe weekend. Come on, City, tomorrow. Let's continue that run. And we'll be back at some point. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Sunday. But we'll see you soon.